Chaz, welcome back to The Grit 337, September 12th, 2025.
A lot of eps in the can, David Lee Scales. A lot of important work, a lot of valuable talk.
Mixed in with a lot of terrible episodes. There's 10% quality work there.
Feel that's good. Feel that is a solid percentage to shoot for.
I think our percentage is probably getting better over time. Maybe we're getting a little bit better at what we do.
Let's hope. Let's hope. I think as the surfing component shrinks, we get better.
Funny, right?
Yep.
How that works. Well, there's less surfing over on Noble Rot for anybody who wants to go get that. I'm sure we'll be discussing
Even less.
political state of American whatever's going on right now over there,
Oof, yeah.
probably.
It's going to be a show about cynicism, which dovetails right into our current nasty state.
Um, Speaking of work output, I've had the busiest podcast week of my life this week. I think I've recorded 10,
Nice.
10
10.
in a
That's a lot of
week.
podcasts. That's a lot. That's more podcasts than there are days.
Exactly. I did three yesterday. I did three the day before. I did a Noble Rot with you, a bonus show with you on Monday, and one with Scott on Tuesday.
Were your eyes and ears glazing over after the marathon ended?
I not exactly because I fortified myself for it. Like I was just locked in, like I got to get this done and focused on the task at hand.
I thought I mean, obviously by fortified yourself for it, you also meant drinkag1.com/surf, the fuel you need to get through a 10 podcast run.
If your neurons are not firing, yes, your eyes will glaze over.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens by the end of this one. This is number 10, so it could be the worst show ever, but
Great. I mean, it's always important to have goals. Always important to set goals and try to achieve.
there you go. Um, do you want to come to the boardroom show in 1 month?
Yes,
Okay, cool. Are you going to be in town? It's October 11th and 12th.
I'll be here.
Okay, sweet. Let's do it.
Great.
Do you want to? Last year you came both days. I'm just putting this out there for the listeners so they can plan their weekend.
Yes.
Do you want to come one day or two, or what are your
Is it
thoughts?
is it Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah.
I'll probably come Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Opens at 10 a.m., closes at 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'll pull an all dayer.
10 a.m. arrival.
Yep, 10 a.m. arrival. Be on time.
Wow.
Actually, I got to draw. Yeah, 10 a.m. arrival.
There you go, listeners.
10 a.m. arrival. I'll be there. I'll be there at the door.
Come to the Boardroom Show in Del Mar at the Del Mar Fairgrounds, October 11th to meet Chaz. Eric Arakawa is the featured or the honored shaper. And then there's going to be the Icons of Foam competition where various shapers try to replicate with certain limitation and blindfolds three different Arakawa shapes. Those shapers among them are Adam Warden from AJW, Chris Christensen. I forget who else. It's a who's who. Oh, Dan Mann. I think Pizel. Pizel.
Wow.
I can't remember if Pizel's coming. I think
E-
Pizel's coming with a booth. I don't know if he's competing, but it's a who's who.
Eric Arakawa, I feel.
Arakawa.
Arakawa. Eric Arakawa has more name recognition, I feel, for adjacent like surfers who maybe a shaper, your Matt Biolis, your Britt Merrick. I feel Eric Arakawa. Uh, they also know him just purely thanks to anytime you go to one of the best waves in the world and need to get the dude's board, that says something. Like all those pipe competitions, what percent are on Eric Arakawa boards?
Well, a great question. I don't know, but you're right. And these are we are talking about people who have contracts with another
Yes.
surfboard brand who
And the
just
surf
renege on it.
and the surfboard brand knows though, hey, what are you gonna do? Yep. That guy's like the recognition of can't do better, can't build a better pipe board. So have at it, man.
So the guy's been at it for 50 years. Um, and I don't know if you know this, he invented the nose guard.
No. Did he patent it, TM it? Was that his company?
Yeah.
Wow. Sweet. I remember nose guards were absolutely ubiquitous. Felt like for, I mean, not maybe ubiquitous, but every third board had a nose guard, it felt, through the 90s and into the 2000s, and then just gone.
I asked him about that because I agree. Like, I think you and I kind of entered surfing around the same time, and that was the peak of nose guards popularity.
Yes.
So he founded the company with a partner and rode the wave of success. In fact, what he said was they were uh, basically spent all their money on the first run of production, which was 5,000 units. They're like, all right, man, we're all in. Like, we need to sell these. So they went to whatever the trade show was at the time at like the Long Beach Convention Center, flew over from Hawaii. They're like, hopefully we can place a couple of retail accounts and try to sell through this. A Japanese distributor came over. He goes, these are incredible. Like, I could definitely sell these. I will take 20,000. And they're like,
Amazing.
we only have 5,000 and maybe we can get a loan and like get more. And it ended up being $100,000 order was what it was. So they were flush from the get-go. They were able to fulfill it and they hit the ground running. And so yeah, definitely we're everywhere in the marketplace for a period of time. For some reason, he exited the business and then things all kind of went downhill from there. And he did not offer any insights as to why or what went wrong because he just wasn't with the company at that point.
I
But
feel
yeah, he went away.
they did a really good job of branding it with I almost lost my eye injury stories from surfers. That's what I recall. And man, yeah, for stinking, wow, I can't remember what they cost, $8. And they looked cool too. They were neon, right?
They had different colors, yeah.
Yeah. So you stick this cool thing on your board and you save your eye. It's a win-win.
Yeah, to me, my memory of it was it wasn't not cool.
Yeah, no. I mean, I
It
didn't, maybe I totally misread the room, but I thought it wasn't, yeah, you didn't get any flack for having a nose guard on your board.
We should bring it back.
Yeah. I mean, who owns the license? Should we do our own?
We could just yeah, do a whole different brand name.
Yeah. That's what we need.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's practical, it's like there's no reason not to, kind of like a helmet nowadays.
Except for I read those horror stories of I almost lost my eye. Like they would have the picture, if I recall, in the magazine of the nose guard and then some dude with like a cut under his eye. Never again am I going out without my nose guard.
That's right.
Um, maybe they ran out of people who actually almost lost their eyes with the tip of their surfboards because I stopped using a nose guard probably 30 years ago. And I don't know that I've ever been, I mean, I'm not packing shore break barrels, but I don't know the last time I was hit in the water anywhere with the nose of my surfboard.
You're really tempting fate right now by even mentioning it aloud. So the story that actually, the reason for the invention of it, as Eric told me, was Al Merrick was doing a cutback at Rincon and ran into a girl who's like duck diving, and the nose of his board hit her in the eye. She lost her eye. She sued him.
Really?
Yeah.
This is a horror origin story.
Yeah.
Big time.
And
Did she win the lawsuit?
I think they settled out of court.
Really? That seems strange that you could even have a chance of winning a lawsuit based on a lineup accident. Like, would you have to prove that Al Merrick was like purposefully driving down the line to gouge her eye out with the tip of his surfboard?
Look, I think he's an honest guy, and he did, if this story is true and that did happen, he would have helped her to shore and been apologetic and accepted blame
Yeah.
immediately. So it
Yeah.
wasn't intentional, but it was an accident, and I guess the courts or maybe just the attorneys decided he was at fault, and that's the way I heard it. Settled out of
Wow.
court.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gruesome.
So crazy. So it wasn't just potential eye losses
It
in
was
the
a
ads.
eye
It was
loss.
actual eye
An eye
loss.
loss. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, business opportunity. We got to add this to our long list of never fulfilled business opportunities that are going to get us rich.
Man, if we just started chewing through that list, we'd be millionaires in no time.
Let's just partner with Kevin Miller. Let's partner with
Yeah.
Kevin Miller. Kevin Miller, he's a business guy.
Come on, Kevin Miller. Kevin, let's bring nose guard back, except not call it nose guard. We're going to call it something else.
Eye
And
saver.
yeah.
Adjacent to your eye saver. No cuts on your orbital socket.
No maker.
Um, so in surf news, the segment that gets shorter and shorter every week. I don't know if you saw this in the comment section on a Beach Grid article, but sit down to pee found. That's the name of the commenter, sit down to pee.
Great name.
They found a video and screenshotted it of an American fighter in Ukraine wearing a WSL hat.
No, I did not see that. Well, look at that.
I mean, this is random and not really a news story, but I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see if I could share. Can you see this?
You sure can.
So this is a video, and he just took a screen or sit down to pee, took a screenshot of it. And this is an American who's apparently fighting in Ukraine. And in the video, he's wearing a WSL hat backwards.
This American, for those who are not watching the podcast on YouTube, he looks Hawaiian-ish.
That's true.
So I'm gonna say that is the tie right there.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, totally interesting.
And
I was gonna guess initially before seeing him, wondering if you know how like unsold clothing gets dumped in third world places. If that was the not that Ukraine is third world, but you know what I'm talking about.
I do know.
If that was the thing, but seeing his face, he looks Hawaiian-ish
He does. Yeah, no, I think he may have purchased the hat.
and or
Uh,
was given the hat, but actually is a fan of the product.
yeah. So I just thought this opened up a bunch of questions for me. I'm like, wow, number one, who buys the WSL merch? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you see the merch advertised in every single contest, and I'm like,
Yep.
how much merch are they printing? Like, does it all go to waste? It ends up, like you said, in Somalia.
Yeah.
Um, but and then I was like, apparently, and then you're allowed to just wear whatever hat you want when you're fighting because you're obviously in fatigue. So there is a uniform, but I guess you could just
Slap a hat on.
accessorize
Yeah.
accessorize beyond your uniform. Ukraine's got a pretty lax policy.
I mean, yeah.
And then also, if you're an American, can you just go fight a different country's war?
I think you can, though I think there are rules about it, but I believe you can.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I believe you can be a what's it called? Why am I forgetting the name? A mercenary. I think
Mercenary.
I think mercenary life is not illegal.
Okay. Then final question, or final for now, until I think of more. What kind of predisposition do you have and passion in your heart for the Ukrainian people to be like, I'm taking this cause up and going over there?
Yeah, I mean, I feel you're ex-military, right? You come home, you feel the itch, you feel that little war-sized hole in your heart that only can be filled with war. And then you look at Ukraine and then get passionate and you think, you know what? I got skill. I know how to do this. Here we go.
Well, that guy was in elementary school, sticking up for the underdog and fighting the bully for him, I bet.
Yep. Yep. And also a surf fan.
Hey, if you're out there listening in the Ukraine, shout out, dude.
Yeah.
Give us a call the
A
listener
report.
line. Yeah, give us a report on the ground. Email us and let us know. We want to know all of those answers to those questions.
Lead with, did you buy the hat or was it given to you?
Right.
Need to
Was
know.
it
Need to
was
know
it
who's purchasing merch.
was it dropped off from a cargo plane in the Ukraine, the batch of clothing? What else? Would it be concert merch that didn't
Yeah.
sell? Like what else is in that batch of clothing?
I think a lot of Reebok tennis shoes
In
in that
there.
batch. Yeah.
Um, in other surf news, lots of burning going on this week. There's two stories I'll read to you, and you can tell me where we want to start. Grisly interference at the ISA World Games pushes France and Chile in or to brink. The other story is Surf World devolves into pitiless rancor after surfer post clip of the most burned I've ever been.
Let's start with the most burned I've ever been. The Pitiless Rancor. I mean, oh, that's the second one. The Chile France getting pushed to the brink. Uh, that just seemed like a silly, normal interference.
I thought the
Did you
girls
watch it?
fought. Yeah, I watched it. I thought the girls based on the headline and what I read, I thought they were going to get into a fist fight afterwards.
The Duke Surf who sent it my way or where I got it or whatever it was, I think it was a translation. It's a Spanish uh, account, but at the translation, I think they fought at the end, maybe. So I was assuming they might have fought at the end of the heat. Like, I don't know physically, but maybe they got into each other's faces at the end of the heat, screaming this and that.
Are you sure Duke Surf is a Spanish account? I thought it was Brazilian.
I think it was Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Spanish.
Okay. Um, yeah, so that clip, it was clearly a better right.
Yeah,
And they called the interference on the girl,
going
Elaine.
left.
Yeah, Elaine Vost, Kayuli
Yeah,
Vost's younger sister. She was trying to go left. They called the interference on her. I thought that was all correct. She should
sure.
not have gone left. She should not have interfered with a girl who was in position to go right. So the ISA got that one right.
Uh, if you're going to commit like at a priority free start of a heat, if you're going to commit like that kind of crash with somebody, because obviously you're all in at that point, right? Both of them are paddling. It's not like you think this person's going to back, or maybe I suppose you think this person's going to back off. But when you both pop your feet, you better be pretty well sure that you're on the right there.
Totally. Yeah.
Like,
And it should be on a wave that's worth it. Like to
yeah,
even when you see somebody and you're wondering like, oh no, who's going to get to their feet first? This is going to be controversial. It better be a 10-point ride
yeah,
potentially, you
yeah,
know? And that
yeah.
wave was a 2-point ride potential.
Well, good.
So anyways, the surf world devolves into Pitiless Rancor.
This one
Uh,
surprised me, to be quite frank. The whole thing, the whole conversation around it surprised me. Like, I think, oftentimes that there are certain instances in our surf milieu that are black and white. And for those who have not seen this clip, I think it's in the Indo somewhere, but it's a guy going left deep in a draining tube, just draining, and he's running, and it's looks phenomenal, and he's clearly, he's like,
keeping pace.
yeah, timing it perfectly, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna pop out at the end and hands raised to the sky. Instead of that, a man comes dropping out of the sky, probably half through his ride, right? And then the wave goes half much longer. Dude who dropped in doesn't get barreled. He does some turns, and then pops out the back. And the aggrieved surfer posted to Instagram, the most burned I've ever been. And I thought, oh, this comments here are going to be absolutely one-sided. They're going to be, screw whoever dropped in, blah, 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 blah. The fact that it was mixed took me by surprise.
I did not know it was mixed, but I will come back to that. Go on to say there was an apology. I saw the people who did roast the guy who did the drop in, the poster of the clip interjected and said he apologized afterwards. He paddled out and apologized to me, so it's all basically squashed now.
Well, so
And I
here's the
was
thing.
like,
So
so he apologized to you, but you still put him
you
on the
burned him.
internet, blasted it. Yeah, blasted him. I thought this was the beginning of a jumping off point for a huge internet fight, basically. But it
Yes.
was all solved before I even unfolded the comments.
So let's shelve that for a minute, like
Okay.
that part of it. Let's go back to the actual burn itself. So again, I thought it was going to be one-sided. Open the comments. Initially, it was one-sided, and then I started seeing people saying, "Well, we don't have context here, right?" Like, basically,
Oh,
were you being a wave hog to
okay.
the Bernie? Were you not taking turns, essentially? Because I've seen this happen. Somebody said, especially when a camera's out, people just wave hogging it up. So did you deserve it? And then that guy had sympathy too, right? Or not sympathy, but had backers too of like, yeah, what we don't know and blah, 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 which uh, took me aback. And for the main reason is even if this guy was being a wave hog, he had taken off a solid 300 yards up the point from where the guy dropped in. So if this would have happened at the takeoff point where a guy drops in, gets barreled, and then other guy, burner, is right there dropping in on him, then I could say, well, maybe this guy was eating more than he should have at the trough. But I don't think there's ever an excuse to drop in on someone at the easy spot, at the easy takeoff spot, correct?
There is a rare circumstance.
Which is,
Building off of that person eating too much at the trough, and you're a local.
yeah, okay.
So you're a
It's,
local, and some blow-in shows up on vacation and is just doing laps. And you just go, you know what? I'm going to sit right at the most critical part of the barrel and just stuff him the next chance I get.
yeah, that's what happened.
That would be the only scenario.
Okay,
But
great. So good there.
but it's that argument I would throw out the window based on their difference in their surfing prowess. Because the guy who was getting shacked is clearly a superior surfer, and the dude doing a drop in just seemed like a kook. So
I mean, I think he was a little, he was, what? I upgraded him from kook to average because his drop in was critical. I mean, he took off on a critical part of the wave. He didn't get barreled, but he made some nice mid face turns.
I'd have to go back and rewatch it. I watched the first time, I didn't really try to assess it that much. I just got on first blush, I was like, what a kook.
Okay, but also now back to the important part. So, and then the other details here is apparently, dude, the burner paddled up to Bernie, apologized, said the reason for his egregious mistake was that he had a sore neck and couldn't turn and see. Uh, so couldn't see, sore neck, accidentally burned you. I'm sorry. Okay, right? Do you buy that, or would that so clearly the Bernie still felt aggrieved enough to go back after he received an apology and put the dude on blast with the most burned I've ever been in my life. He doesn't say anything particularly negative in the comments about, but he tags him. He tags the dude who burned him and doesn't absolve him certainly
No.
in the caption, and only does provide some kind of context in the comments in response to others, right? So what do you think about that? What about them apples there? If somebody,
Um,
if shoe was on your foot, if the surf sandal, if the reef sock was on your foot, would you have done the same thing? If somebody burned you, paddled up, apologized, said my neck is sore, I couldn't see you, would you say, bad excuse, I'm roasting you online?
I personally would not, but I do understand why this guy did. And I actually am all for it.
Yeah, I mean, the clip was great, I will say. It
That's
was,
the
I'm
thing.
glad that we got to be entertained by that clip.
I think he saw the value in that. I think he saw this is a viral moment and everybody will get a laugh and engage in this conversation. So I maybe he's trying to build his social profile even. And so this is gold. I'm going to go ahead and put this out there for everybody to enjoy. Now, the idea of tagging the person does feel um, like a reciprocal punishment.
Yep.
This is kind of like, you know what, dude? You have
You,
this coming. I'm tagging you so that you can take some of the blame.
yeah, you stuffed me, I'm stuffing you.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, another question here. Is, quote, I didn't see you, quote, ever true?
It is true sometimes, and that
Mm,
identifies you as a kook.
how,
Because
yeah, I mean,
because as we've defined previously, kookiness is related to lack of
unawareness.
awareness.
Yep. I mean, so that's the real truth. I'm trying to think of the times that I have dropped in on people, uh, like blatantly dropped in on people. And even if I will try to think, oh, I didn't see them, I know that I saw them. You always know, right? Like sometimes your body takes over, your arms start paddling, and you're like, I see this guy, but uh-oh, ship has sailed on this one. I'm
Yeah.
already surfing it, right? Even though you haven't even popped your feet yet. But you definitely saw him or her.
So again, that's the difference between kook and not kook.
Yeah.
Is there are situations where somebody did not see at all because they're that oblivious.
Yeah.
Now, I have a bit of a confession to make and a bit of a mea culpa. I wasn't even going to bring this up, but it fits perfectly into this conversation. I burned one of our listeners in at Chicama.
Yeah. How badly?
Not badly because the wave wasn't great, but I did see him.
Yes.
So there's a it was on like day one. where the waves were small that day. So you're number one, day one, you're sorting out the lineup, and it was also small surf, so not a lot of power. So he was taking off deeper than I on a section of the wave that is very soft. It's like that's where it starts breaking, but it's soft right there. And he was on a shorter board. And so I was like, I'm paddling in on the little bit steeper section, and I look where he's at. And again, I have very little information about this lineup, but from what I sussed out from this lineup thus far, I was like, that's a super soft section. He's way too deep, and
Not going to make it.
he's on a shorter board. Like if he's on a glider, he'll be right up my butt in no time, but he's on a shorter board, he's on a soft section, and he's too deep. So he's not going to make it. So I basically make the assessment as he's maybe getting to his feet and track. I kind of assessed his momentum. I was like, yeah, there's no way he's going or he's going to make it. So I just stroke in, forget about him, get up and go. As I'm kind of like dropping into the section, I see him coming up from behind me. And I was like, oh crap. And I duck out. I pull out immediately. So I didn't even drop to the bottom of the wave. I dropped like mid face, kind of starting to make a turn, and then saw him, was like, oof, and a pull out the back. The wave was kind of closing out anyway. So there really wasn't an open face for him to ride. But I immediately was like, dude, that was embarrassing. I am so sorry. I should have given you the benefit of the doubt. And I even said, I'm like, I didn't like assess your surf ability and then like made a call that you're a kook. And so I went on you thinking you're not good enough to make that wave. It was strictly related to the style of wave that it was. And like, I didn't think it was really makeable. But I was so embarrassed and felt terrible, apologized to him. And in my head, I was like, anytime we're in the lineup for the rest of this week, like if I'm in position and he's near me, he has free reign. Like I'll just
Yeah.
tell him to go, to make good. He was super gracious and had no problem at all. But the freaking drone operators caught it on video. So
Yes.
I watched it later and I'm like, you know what? I think I kind of made a bigger error than I thought. Like watching it from the drone footage, he had a shot.
Yeah. And you wrecked it.
I wrecked it.
Uh, can you post that?
I don't have, actually, I could probably find, we did get a Dropbox with everything. I can look for the clip. I'll try to
Yeah,
find it.
find the clip. Let's
Okay, I'll try
let's
to find it.
let's share in the best place ever to share anything, the court of public opinion.
It's a knee-high wave and a mush, like not a great wave. So it's not that egregious, but it was a misstep. I own it.
The thinking, I mean, here's the problem with the thinking that somebody is not going to make a section because how many times that is really the damned if you do, damned if you don't corner of the surf world is because how many times have you thought this guy's not making a section, drop in only to have him make the section or her make the section and kick out? Versus also, how many times have you seen somebody going thinking this guy's not going to make the section, but pulling back, and then they just get clobbered and don't make the section, and you would have had a perfect wave? Like both of those happen so often, or not so often, but equally often to me, where you're really damned if you do, damned if you don't. If it's basically Murphy's Law. If you do decide to drop in, the surfer up and riding is guaranteed to make the section. If you pull back, the surfer up and riding is guaranteed to get chewed by the whitewash.
I almost always err on the side of don't go.
Sure.
Like I rarely do what I said that I did in that previous story. I almost always pull back and give the benefit of the doubt. Um, and certainly after day one, I think day one is just like over frothing and over hyped, and so that was probably the real culprit, or the real reason I did it. But moving forward throughout the week, I did let a bunch go. And it played out exactly like you said, where the person doesn't make the section or they eat it right as I pull back, then they eat
Yes.
it. But it's just kind of like, you know what? There's more waves coming. Certainly there's plenty of waves coming. There's no need to like stuff somebody.
That's a real curse though, when you're out on a wave starved day and
It's
you
the
got a shot
worst.
at that one and you fully would have had it, except you pulled back and surfer up and riding ate it.
So that's why I am constantly surveying everybody else's ability in the lineup. Because if there's 12, I can probably track about 12 people. And so if I know these 12 people's ability level, then I'm applying that when I see the wave coming and I see their angle of approach on it.
The uh
Uh,
the beauty for me, or one thing that I thoroughly enjoy in the lineup these days, if that surfer up and riding is on a soft top, I go no matter what. Like if I think not going to beat the section plus soft top equals me going.
yeah,
I don't
that's
even
fair.
think twice about that.
I think that can be solidified into rules to live by.
I think so too. And I think also I'm going to throw in other kinds of boards, not just soft tops. If they're on like clearly like one of those whatever NSP, what are they called?
Yeah,
Like
NSF.
something, one of those, right? One of the plasticky kind of surfboards. Like all of this, I feel if they're not on a legitimate surfboard, then uh when in doubt, go.
What? Yeah, it is NSP. What does that even stand for? North doesn't even say what it stands for. Um, from high performance surfboards to sustainable longboard shapes, NSP has everything for a beginner surfer to an experienced surfer.
Hmm.
It's weird how we've followed surfing our whole life, and that brand has sold almost more units than any other surfboard brand we know, and we know
Absolutely.
nothing about them.
Absolutely. Like I think surf schools and hotels and whatnot around the world are stacked with NSP boards.
It is so funny. But they
Yeah.
are almost in every single lineup. Oh, Nature Surf Products is what NSP stands for.
I never knew. Look at that.
Nature Surf Products.
There we go.
Funny.
You're in the
Listeners.
surfboard business and didn't even know.
Yeah, shocking. Well, moving on slightly, did you see the latest Bobby Martinez interview on Stab Magazine?
I sure didn't. Is it as delightful and heartwarming as every Bobby Martinez interview?
Precisely.
Great. What does he
And
say?
that was my exact response after reading it was he should continue to dodge interviews
Yeah.
and
Just because you
let his surfing do the talking.
oh, was it not a good interview?
He's just so negative.
Oh yeah. What is he just like down on everything still?
I'll read you a quote, but
Okay.
it's negative and zero appreciation for what he has earned and gleaned from the surf industry.
Let's hear.
Quote, he's talking about Sonny Garcia. So Sam McIntosh did the interview and he was asking about it was part of the How Surfers Get Paid series. So that was kind of the focus of the interview is how much money did you make? What did these contracts look like? Blah, blah, blah. Why'd you walk away from certain contracts? So the quote that I pulled was, quote, Sonny Garcia said to me, by the way, listeners with children in the car, there's going to be some curse words, earmuffs, if you want. Quote, Sonny Garcia said to me, look, when you're done, no one's going to give a fuck about you. It'll be hard just to get a wetsuit. You're surfing and you've still got people wanting to give you shit. Just take advantage of it. I can't get shit from nobody anymore. And it made me think, well, this is fucked up. This is a fucked up place to be. If Sonny Garcia, a respected world champion, can't get shit from these companies who once said they loved him, then this is a fucked up environment and I don't want to be in it. End quote. He went on to say, Sam McIntosh went on to ask him about walking away from a reported $800,000 contract that was being offered to him, and he's just turned it down. And Bobby said, I had the chance to make 1.2 million a year and I walked away. I was already making good money. They offered me 550,000 guaranteed, and if things went well, it could have gone up to 1.2 million. But I told him straight up, F that. If I'm going to stick around, you better raise my base because I don't want to be here. This is bullshit. They came back to me with, well, wait, we'll pay you 550K no matter what. And you could still make 1.2. And I was like, nah, I'd rather walk. And I got out of my contract.
Hmm. Interesting. Is that when he went to FTW?
I don't know.
Remember FTW?
I do.
I
Yeah.
met with the founder of FTW back in the day. I can't remember
How,
why.
yeah. How did that go?
I don't know. He's a very, very interesting dude.
Say more.
I think he was out of prison. And I think he went back into prison after I met with him.
Is that why FTW no longer exists?
Maybe. Yeah.
To me, I was like, it's just Helvetica font on shirts with a square around it.
Yeah.
Like, did you put zero effort into logo design?
If I recall, yeah, I mean, there was something fishy about it. Even when I met him, he was a great, I mean, very magnanimous, interesting character, big and tatted and, like you'd think, I guess, like you would imagine somebody who founded the brand FTW would look. His name was Bobby something too.
Hmm.
Bobby, I'll get to the bottom of this. I interviewed him, but yeah, it's got to be somewhere. Anyway, yeah. But what do you think about Bobby Martinez walking away from his reported 1.2?
I mean, look, that's up to him, like if you don't need it or you can live a easy life or you can live a comfortable life without it and you have means, whatever, that's all fine. You can make whatever decision you want when it comes to how you get paid. What's shocking is the amount of negativity that he expresses and disdain because he entered into a contract at some point and he'd have to be insanely naive to claim that he didn't know what that transaction was. So a surf company is giving you money and a lot of money to do certain things. And it's listed in a contract. And then you agree to it. And then you're upset about them holding you accountable to do the things that they paid you to do. It seems bizarre to me to not to feel offended by that exchange. So he had the opportunity to say no from the get-go and surf in anonymity for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have to become a professional surfer. There's, I'm sure, people who have incredible talent whose names we don't know who are getting barreled right now in Western Australia or the Central Coast of California or wherever who just don't care. They don't want to make a living off of surfing. Bobby opted in.
But what if, to play devil's advocate here, to play Bobby advocate, what if Bobby Martinez, he came up young, uh, in the Santa Barbara region and all that. What if like he, family signs contracts from his young guy? It's just he doesn't really have an option. And then when he starts to think about it himself, he's like, I don't like this. I don't like what this is. And the willingness to walk away from, a vast sum of money, uh, maybe he grew into it, right? Maybe he grew into his disdain for the whole thing and thought this, which is why I think surfers love Bobby Martinez to this day, is because, and particularly surfers who hate the surf industry, right? Who have the distinction in their minds between the surf industry and surfing. And I feel Bobby is Saint Bobby Martinez to them. There's this thing that makes money off surfing and wrecks surfing, and then there's surfing itself.
Again, it seems insanely naive to me that there was zero awareness on Bobby's part that that the corporatization of surfing was tainting the love, his love for surfing from the get go, even as a 14-year-old.
But again, what if you have parents and whatnot? You're a minor. What if you have parents and then your parents are getting you a manager and then your manager is telling you you're doing stuff and then you're doing it and you're 14. You're not like fully, maybe you're cognizant of, yes, this is like a job. Uh, but clearly the fact that he walked away from money, it wasn't like he was giving my 1.2 million and then I'm also going to crap talk all of you.
Well, he didn't take the 1.2, but he certainly took the 300, the 500, the 800 up until that point. To your point, he did seem to be on that trajectory from the get go. He seemed to have a lot of disdain and animosity from the beginning. And maybe not vocalizing it publicly, but probably from his retelling of it, anyways, he felt that way all along and would have conversations with Andy Irons or whomever expressing those grievances. But so that trajectory that he was on, eventually he burned enough. He even admits, I burned enough relationships. Nobody wanted a piece of me, but then Monster shows up and offers me money. And they've been great, by the way. They're still sponsoring him. So he did still opt in along the way under what he felt was a different contract or pretense until he ultimately pulled the plug from the tour and everything altogether. So let's say what you're saying is true, and that's the trajectory. What I'm saying is we're 10 years on, we're 15 years on. How do you still feel the same amount of anger and ire towards this thing that ultimately did have a bunch of benefits built into it? Like, yeah, there were the negative things that you're feeling, but it's still, how do you not see the positive things in it at this
I
point?
mean, maybe it wasn't to him though. Maybe that was as evidenced by you don't see Bobby Martinez traveling the world necessarily, right?
There was a comment in the comment section about he married into money, and
Yeah.
apparently his wife's Australian, so they're back in Australia every year, and he doesn't need the money. That's what the comment said.
Okay.
Don't know
Uh,
if it's true.
sure. But what if though, that aside, what if even without say, a wealthy wife, what if Bobby Martinez didn't want to do what the surf industry that was always anathema to him? He always hated that. He wanted to stay home and surf Rincon and, travel up and down Central Coast maybe. And that's what he wanted. And then you got this machine coming in saying, "No, we're going to, and to everybody else, sure, it's the dream. You're traveling the world, you're getting paid to surf." What if that was never Bobby's dream? He was forced into it, and so he still feels bitterness and anger toward being forced to do something he never wanted to do, even though it's
That
what everybody else would have wanted to do.
so that is precisely what he is saying.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, I'm saying there's two details here that I feel are very kind of disingenuine. Number one, I don't feel you were forced into this. I think you opted in at multiple times along the way, and it didn't turn out the way that you wanted, but it feels like there's a bit of a victim mentality that's at play from the very, very beginning to me. And then number two is, how do you not have any amount of appreciation at all? How is it all negativity?
And again, being the Bobby advocate, we talk about what was the movie where Alicia Silverstone was seducing
Oh yeah, the
uh
crush.
the crush. Yeah, where we have a teenager seducing her teacher, or it wasn't a teacher. What was he?
Um,
Was it Carrie L. Hughes? Yeah.
Carrie Elways was a
Always.
teacher in the movie, but he was just renting the guest house from her parents.
Yes. Okay. But David Lee and I talked about a while ago that even the foundational part of that film, that a 14-year-old or a high school girl, a young teenager could seduce an older man, is problematic, right? So let's apply that to Bobby though. What if at 14, 13, 12, whatever, you are being pushed along, you're not making decisions, and maybe you're opting in enough because you're young, but your decision making is not there, right? And so you're pushed into this life of indentured servitude in your mind, right? That the ball is rolling now, and you do like kick that ball off the track as soon as you finally can, which is, let's say, New York circa 2011.
Um, Bobby then is a complete artiste,
Sure.
living his ideology or principled life because, again, it's insane to me to be surfing for a living and feel that much animosity up towards the contract that you entered into, even at a young age.
I
Like
get
that
that
is
from I get
that
that from me too.
all you have to do is look around and just see the way everybody else lives their life to have some semblance of perspective that this is not a death sentence.
But what if it was to Bobby?
It,
What if it really was to him? It felt that
well,
way to him.
again, a principled artist who's going to die
Yeah.
on their work is the analogy, and that's what he's doing.
Saint Bobby.
It doesn't feel like a very content way to go through life to me.
Nope, but I think artists are tortured for a reason.
Well, the other thing that he explains that I do relate to, or not relate to, but can sympathize with is the way that he was marketed. Like he said, he got on Reef and they wanted to make a profile video and they rushed it out the door. Like he's new, let's get a profile out immediately. And he's like, this film sucks. Like it's not my best surfing. It could be way better. Let's park it and spend another year. They're like, nope, we're rushing it out. And they put on one of the sections, I think maybe the opening section, Gangster's Paradise as the
Yeah.
song. And
Yeah.
he's just like, well, I don't listen to that. That's not my song. Like I didn't pick that, but
Yeah.
it was the marketing machine was painting him as a
Cholo.
gangster, as a cholo. Yeah, as
I mean, I remember all that early Bobby Martinez marketing, like, and I don't know how much he was, but again, right? Like a young dude who this machine is coming at you, and maybe you're both like leaning into it a little bit, but how much is it your I mean, that's probably maybe why he hates it. Maybe he's like, I was thinking branded a cholo, uh, and I was kind of, but then I was branded that, but it'd be messy. But that's fully how he was branded.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand like why somebody might be offended by the way that works, but also step back half a step and recognize these corporate entities have branding departments that never accurately reflect the athlete that they're. Every athlete is multidimensional and has a bunch going on in their life, and whatever ad you put out is not a perfect reflection of that person. We just know that. Like, how do you not know that?
I mean,
They're doing
surfing
it to
though,
sell product.
surfing being so, especially then, so monoculture, monotone, than to have a guy with the last name Martinez and he looks like Bobby and he talks like Bobby. Like, I feel that everyone went into overdrive there of like, see, we're diverse. Look what we
Yeah.
have. We have Bobby Martinez.
Um, just to get back to that quote with him having a conversation with Sonny, and Sonny said, "Look, when you're done, no one's going to give a fuck about you. It'll be hard to even get a wetsuit. You're surfing and people still want to give you shit. Just take advantage of it." Even that mentality, and this was Sonny's mentality in that quote, is take, take, take. I'm
Yeah.
entitled. I'm entitled because I surf really well. You owe me a free wetsuit,
Well, I
which
mean,
is insane.
I would imagine though that that was Sonny's feeling generally, right? Is I gave you this was transactional. I gave you a billboard. I essentially gave you myself. What I got in return was stuff, and then you used me until you were done using me, and now I don't get stuff anymore.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
transaction over.
yeah,
We
transaction over.
do we
But
don't
maybe
owe
he
you
thinks.
another wetsuit.
I mean, also with that one though, I find it very hard to believe that Sonny Garcia couldn't get wetsuits on demand.
Yeah, I do too.
Like maybe I mean, so that that feels Sonny's part of that quote feels artificially negative. I guarantee Sonny could call up whoever. Maybe you can't call up or he couldn't call up whichever wetsuit was his first choice. But I
Billabong was his
yeah,
first sponsor.
yeah, but I mean, my goodness. Yeah, I doubt that.
I agree. Like, yeah, I'm sure he could still get a free wetsuit, but again, the entitlement aspect to me is like wrong-headed from the get-go, you know.
Yeah, I mean, trying to put myself in their reef sandals, though, I could see how you would think, look, I had one thing to give. Myself was what I gave to this thing, and that continues on, right? And so the frustration of you used me and then you discarded me.
Yeah, again, shocking lack of awareness that that is how this works.
Yeah,
But again, if you're going to say, yeah, he was 13, 14 when he originally signed, okay, then I can kind of understand you didn't have the awareness at that age. But
yeah, and got kicked down a
any,
path.
anyways, Bobby surfing's still incredible. And
Incredible.
like I said, let the surfing do the talking, and I'm a huge fan.
Tell you what, got the wife that bobby quad. She gushes evermore. Loves that board. So I try to steal it from her every now and again. But Bobby Quad apparently is the Channel Islands Bobby Quad is apparently wow. I have not seen her gush about a board this long. Like, got it for her for Christmas. We're coming right around the bend to Christmas again. And it's just every search. I love this board.
The listener I burned in Chicama was riding the Bobby Quad.
Boom. And that's why he
That,
made the section.
that's why he made this section. Dang it. I should have
You should have
assessed the board he was
assessed.
on.
Should have. Bobby Quad can do no wrong.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, listener. Um, English surf contest canceled after sewage plant dumps poo poo and pee poo and pee into the lineup.
Yeah, it was a hard news day, but also I just really wanted to write poo and pee into a headline.
Well, it's perfect because I got another listener call that relates to poo and pee.
Boom.
But what is your tolerance for pollution? I mean, if it rains, do you go surfing? If there's
My
what?
tolerance is very low for pollution, especially in Southern California, where I'm less concerned, to be quite frank, about poo and pee. Like if I was in Mexico, say, surfing Salina Cruz, let's pretend, and there was like a big rain and everybody's like, oh, water's dirty. I'm less concerned about that then the industrial runoff, I feel, comes out of Southern California.
Great point. That, I mean, I did a whole thing with Surfrider about the pollution in Imperial Beach.
Yeah.
So, not to make this a environmental uh, campaign show, but there was some legislation that was changed years ago, and so manufacturers in Southern California were able to go set up shop in Tijuana instead and have all this economic savings, essentially. But there's also less regulatory bodies over there. So they were able to have these industrial manufacturing plants right over the border, not treat the waste from that plant, pump it into the Tijuana River, which then comes across the border and unloads in Imperial Beach. So Imperial Beach was closed for like I think it was 400 days or something straight because of the toxicity of the water. And it got so bad. And this is in addition to regular sewage runoff from Tijuana, from, them not having sanitization plants for their household plumbing and stuff like that. So you have human waste in the river with toxic waste from the manufacturing going into waters in Southern California. So, in addition to the water being contaminated, it would get aerosolized, both coming off of the river and in the ocean. And then people were getting poisoned in their homes from the air, or currently are, by the way.
Awful, awful, awful. Yeah, that kind of
And,
stuff scares me
and
bad.
and it's growing. The problem is growing north because of course this just keeps pumping. I forget how many tens of thousands of gallons a day into the Pacific, migrating north. So the Navy SEALs who do training in Coronado are now getting sick with symptoms related directly to the industrial waste coming out of that river.
Don't like any of that. Yeah, so I am very probably more cautious, definitely more cautious than others. Like I'll drive past whatever break on after like one of those early dump storms where okay, everything, like if it's rained for a long time, I feel then I'm fine going out. But if it like that first flush, right? And then you'll see people in the lineup, and I'm like, you madmen out there.
I I used to be very tolerant and also naive, and so I would after a rain, whatever, I'd go surfing. I seem to be more susceptible the older I get. Our strategy of building up a tolerance and becoming Iron Man or whatever uh, has not worked in that respect.
Well, look, we're wearing our shoes inside and we're not going surfing after the rain. We are blowing it.
Totally blowing it, dude. Um, if you see a sewage plant at the English surf contest, if a sewage plant actually has a mishap and dumps waste into the lineup, I'm going to take a few days off.
Well, and here's the thing with this story too, because I think somebody got in and commented where it seemed to be a bigger story than, again, my whole purpose in writing it was just to put poo and pee into a headline. But aside from that, it seemed like whatever that water waste facility thing in that part of England is a notoriously bad actor. Right, and they have like, I don't know, it seemed like after in certain circumstances, after a huge rain or something, for example, they were allowed to pump sewage out into the water, but they do it all the time just because who's going to check if there's a rain or not? So they're always just pumping sewage, being lazy about their sewage. Instead of treating it, pump it.
Crazy.
Gross.
Well, that transitions beautifully to this listener call that came in response to a previous show.
Hey guys, this is Anonymous. This message is for the grit. About a month ago, someone called in talking about produce bags missing in the grocery store, and that this person goes about it replacing the bags because the employees aren't replacing them. What's really happening is the customers are stealing the rolls. And they're stealing them at a rate where the employee can't replace it. Now, why are the customers stealing the rolls? Because those rolls are the most incredible doggy bags of all time. Poop bags for your dogs, Just so you know, those bags are made out of potato, and they're 100% recycle. So with the poop and the recycled potato bag, it's the perfect trash for Mother Nature. Okay, keep work.
How about that for insight?
Okay, here we go though. I was listening. I was thinking. I was thinking this was going to go, could go multiple ways. And then I was thinking toward the end, what is anonymous? And he was very uh direct with his, this is anonymous. He doesn't want to be known. What's his interest here? This anonymous caller is fully in the grocery vegetable bag market. He produces them and he wants more people to go steal them. So the grocery store has to buy more. This is a straight plant and well done.
He is trying to move more units.
More product out the door.
And he knows what they're made out of. How would he
No, it
know
was a
that?
really, really good sales pitch. It made me want to go.
Potato?
Yeah, because we get in this house. What are your dog bags?
I buy them. They look exactly like a produce bag. I buy them on Amazon. They are biodegradable, recyclable. There's a 540 count box for $12.
Yeah, the ones we use in this house, I think, are made from corn.
Are
So
they
same,
the green ones?
the green ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, same kind of diff.
Yeah.
But the like, so that's when he was first starting. I was like, well, these rude people are going and putting their dog poops in plastic, and that's just not cool. Not knowing that those are made from potato. Now it makes me want to go steal a bunch.
Now, how do you, first of all, Anonymous, thank you for that insight. I had no idea, and it makes perfect sense based on the original caller saying they're always out. Like, how is it that the grocery store employees aren't replacing them? No, there has been enough people figured this loophole out that are just plucking them and stealing them.
But here's the problem though with all of this is so they do the free doggy bag sitch at the park near the house here, right? And so they
Oh
have
yeah.
multiple stations where you can just pull. And I will regularly see people, and not just people, dog owners going up. And I've been there when run out of the doggy bag, new order hasn't arrived yet. So I'll grab three, right? I'll grab three bags and tie them onto the leash just in case there's further delay in.
Or just for the walk home.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I will see people going and stuffing a bag full, just like taxpayer dollars, thinking dog owners thinking, stop being so dang cheap. It's not like the dog poop bag is, hey man, it's like $75 for a 30 count. It is expensive. No, they're cheap every which way. If you are that kind of person that is refusing as a dog owner, if you're that kind of dog owner who's refusing to buy poop bags, you're just too cheap. I'm going to say you're a bad person top to bottom.
Don't own a dog.
Yeah. Don't own a dog.
If you can't afford a 540 count for $12, you should not have that dog.
Nope. So get rid of your dog. Go full, what's her name? Who's the Homeland Security who shot the bad dog?
I have no idea.
Noam.
Christy Noam?
Christy Noam, yeah.
She shot a dog?
Yeah, she got famous. I mean, this is for, she had a dog that was untrainable. So she went out and put a bullet in its head.
Wow.
Yeah. Christy Noam.
Old school.
Yep. Bad dog.
Does she live on a farm?
Think of this. Yes, this is from her Dakota days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Times are different. So that was my follow-up question here is how do you feel about stealing?
Yeah, don't like it at all.
Is it ever justifiable? Can you think of any scenario in your life where you have stolen and you could justify it?
So I wouldn't call it stealing per se, but there have been times when at the store, say, I will go and I will get a bad mango. I'll go home, mango's bad, gone rotten. I'm not about to go down to the store, talk to the clerk, show him the bad mango, go get a new bad mango, but I'll store it in the mine. And so next time I'm in the store, I'll help myself to a free mango just as a replacement.
How do you get out with a free mango?
You just like stuff it at the bottom of the bag and don't take it out of the bag when you go to the checker. But
really,
Yeah, but I feel that is like I'm just cutting out the one step that's going to annoy everyone of me going back down, da 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 da, blah de blah de blah.
Call a manager over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to have him do the code and ja ja ja.
The
I'm
line is
taking
building up behind you.
exactly. I'm taking care of business, but that's the only time, and I do that rarely. But
Wow.
I will do that.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
I understand your rationale for not wanting to go through the rigmarole,
yeah.
but I just accepted at a certain point in adult life that it's a gamble with produce. I'm gonna pick the wrong avocados. They're gonna be rotten, and that one's just on me.
There's sometimes when it's egregious though. Like if I've bought that mango and I've waited 4 days and then I cut it open and it's gone bad, that's on me, right? If I buy a mango, go cut it open and it's bad from the get, that one's on the grocery store.
Well, the thing is, I've learned, or you just learn in your community, there are certain stores whose produce goes bad immediately. There's other stores that takes 5 days to ripen. And then there's the one store, Whole Foods, where it's the sweet spot where you can buy it and it's good for 3 days or whatever it
Yeah.
is. So I've learned don't buy from store A, or if you're going to buy from store B, wait a week or whatever it is. But the problem that you're talking about here is nobody knows what a mango's like on the inside. They don't
Yeah.
have an x-ray machine where they can look through the skin of the mango and be like, this one's rotten, we're going to throw that away.
The real truth though is, and I don't blame the store per se. I just know that they would exchange it for me if I went
They
down.
would.
They would
Yeah.
exchange it for me. So that's already built into the store policy. I am just cutting out the annoying part of that transaction. If it was you buy it, you own it kind of mentality, then I would probably steal produce maliciously. Uh, just to just say no, this is you are breaking the social contract. But as is, the social contract is you get a bad piece of produce, they'll replace it.
This is fascinating to me.
But it's true, right? That is the social contract.
No, you're
So
right. Yeah, no.
by rights, you have access to a good piece of produce. Just don't bother anybody with it.
So do you have a running tally in your brain at all times of what is owed?
Uh,
Like like Lazy Acres, they owe me a avocado and a banana. But when I go down to
yeah,
Seaside Market,
they
I'm
owe me
up.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do. I try to keep the running tally, especially when it comes to avocados.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Complicated.
It's really complicated, but what are you going to do? Like, this is life, man. It's getting more difficult by the day.
And more expensive. Like produce at Lazy Acres or Seaside Market will make you go broke if you have to replace all the rotten ones.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I'm getting premium stuff here. I'm not going to, whatever, final sale. What's it called? What's the Smart and Final, right? I don't think I would hold them to the same standard. But if
Right.
I'm going to pay $5 for a mango, I'm going to get that mango. That mango's going
Okay.
to be good.
Okay. So follow up, I would love for the anonymous caller to call back since you clearly have insights into this industry. Um, when Chaz does return a mango, or he doesn't, but when another customer returns a mango, does the vendor refund it or does the store take the loss?
You got to think the store eats it, right? I mean, I guess not. I guess they could go, particularly if there was a bad batch of some kind of produce, or do they, I mean, just think the volume they're doing. Do they think it's not worth saving this 50 cents?
Maybe they steal it too.
Yeah.
Next time the truck shows up, they just pluck one off. I know, look, I know if there's a faulty Apple product that you buy from whatever, Target or Best Buy or something, they turn to Apple and Apple makes good on it. They don't
Yeah,
just absorb that cost. But with a mango from a produce supplier, I want to know
it's
what's going on.
true. It's really true.
And then that produce supplier, do they turn to the farm and the farm refunds them? How
I
far
mean,
back does this go?
yeah, the seed back all the way to the seed maker. How often do you steal? Ever?
I mean, honestly, I want to be 100% transparent. I don't think I steal.
Okay, here's the other time that I did steal that I don't anymore, but I used to do this. When self-checkout first started, I was so angry. I'm like, you're putting me to work now. You are literally, so I'm going to pay myself. You put me to work, I pay myself a candy bar this time. Like,
Candy bar.
yeah. So I would toss in an extra item or two. Uh, And I felt it was totally fair. Those were my wages. I just worked a shift in your store and now I got paid.
Did you ever
Fair.
get caught?
Never.
This is the privilege of white class or white middle class male in Southern California is nobody's even looking twice at when you're at self checkout.
No, but I think also this was self-checkout. I think their cameras were more rudimentary. I would
Oh yeah.
imagine in this day and age, if you did that, especially at a certain store, and I'm sure all the cameras are related, right? If they see, okay, this guy, be on the lookout for, but I think you'd have to be moving, stealing a bunch.
No, I mean, you're right. The cameras are more sophisticated now because there's times where I'll have something, let's say, two items in my left hand, and I'll scan one, go to put it in the bag, but the other unscanned item is still in my left hand as I'm putting it in the bag, and I'll get flagged.
Yeah.
It'll be like, yeah, either somebody will come over or a little light will go off or something, and it's like, oh, that person tried to manipulate.
Yep.
Um, well, I stole when I was a kid a couple of times, and I remember must have been this was like 12 years old, let's say, long before I got a license. My cousins and I, we'd always go to my grandma's house. Would like she would babysit us during the summertime, and so we'd go over there and we have all day to just do whatever we want. And so we would walk to Target, and I remember stealing Hot Wheels from Target.
Ooh, how many? Was it a heist or just one?
It was like you could only carry a couple, because the packaging, we wouldn't open the packaging, which would have been smarter.
Yeah.
We have to steal the packaging. So it was like we slipped it down our pants. So the bulk of it was like where our belly was, and you could just pull the shirt over it and just walk out. But we didn't do it very frequently. I remember feeling very, very scared doing it and then guilty afterwards. So
You didn't
I don't
have
know that we did it more than once or twice.
you didn't have the adrenaline rush of look at me, life on the wrong side of the tracks. David Lee Scales at
I
large.
I think it was fun to do, and then we felt guilty afterwards.
Okay. Yeah,
But we
I never
got,
did. I never did any toy stealing or anything like that.
yeah. Yeah, my lesson was learned quick and early. All right, well, moving on. Don't say gay.
Great.
Got some feedback from last week, two feedbacks, and then a new submission for this week. Chaz and David Lee, I wanted to provide some more information about slump buster, given that you both concluded that the term can remain in the lexicon as if it's not inherently offensive to anyone. I believe the term first came to light in a conversation between the late great Chicago Cubs Ryan Sandberg and talk show host Jim Rome in the mid 90s. The way the story went, when the team was on a losing streak, a rookie had to find the biggest, ugliest girl at a bar and go home with her. That selfless act would bust the slump, hence the term slump buster. But it soon adopted. It was soon adopted to describe shagging an unattractive girl just to end a sexual dry spell. So you might want to reconsider your original decision, given that slump buster implies that the girl is unattractive. Keep up the work, Sean in Reading.
Okay, that's fascinating sport trivia. Thank you so much, Sean. Love it. I love me some sport trivia. Uh, yeah, I mean the unattractiveness, but that didn't come up. I mean, is that always implied?
Apparently, based on this story, I don't know. I
Okay, I
don't
mean
think that. I honestly don't think that matters.
if that is true, though, if a slump buster is an ugly person, uh, by virtue of the whole entire package, then I'm going to say it's offensive.
Unattractive to whom? You can't just
Well,
say unattractive as a general blanket statement. You know what I mean?
yeah, I guess uh, what
Like he says, the biggest, ugliest girl at the bar. Some people are into big,
and ugly.
and well, ugly is defined by the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
So I think all of this is a little bit problematic, and I think I'm okay keeping the term.
Uh, yeah, I mean the term still doesn't necessarily feel offensive. Yeah, because imagine you could be one you could be one woman slump buster.
Well, the question originally was, do women have their own version of
Yeah.
Slump Buster? And we got feedback on that too, which I'll get to in a second. Um, I just feel like the problem here is if the person, uh, let's say the stooge in this is being used
Yes.
unknowingly. Like
Yes.
if you're going up to the ugliest girl who you presume or deem as the ugliest girl in the bar to get your team out of the curse, and you're like, I gotta find an ugly girl. There's an ugly girl. I need to get my team out of this curse. I'm gonna go promise her the world that I'm gonna be boyfriends. We're gonna get married in the boyfriend, girlfriend. We're gonna get married in the future and have kids together just so I can get our team out of this curse. That's a problem.
That's rough. That is uncool.
But if it is, as we thought it was last week, of just, I'm in a dry spell, you're at a bar, and you communicate to that girl, I'm in a dry spell. She's like, I'm in a dry spell too. And you guys are consensual adults and you bust each other's slump.
All
Fair
fine and good.
game. Fair game.
All
And
fine and
that's a
good.
perfect term for that scenario.
Sure. Yeah. Great. Great. But
Keeping it.
how often is that scenario? I want to say, and I don't know, I haven't been out in the field, as it were, in many years now. But how often is that actually a scenario where there's two level-headed, equal-minded, hey man, let's just lay out the facts here. Let's look at the evidence.
In your town of San Diego, every single night times 1,000. In every bar within a 10-mile radius of your house, that happens every single night
Yeah. Okay.
with different levels of transparency,
Yeah.
like, or communication, I should say. Like, I don't know that they say specifically, I'm trying to bust my slump. Oh, cool. I'm trying to bust my slump too. Let's get after it. But clearly, people who are willing to have one night stands knowing the
On
risks
both
involved.
sides. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Got it. Okay. Okay.
yeah. Um, Female feedback from last week to answer that question was uh, her and her friends used the term palate cleanser.
Palate cleanser. Wow.
You got the stink from a past relationship on your palate, and you just got to cleanse it.
Palate cleanser is a lot more poetic, I suppose, than slump buster.
I agree. Yeah, it's a little less distasteful.
Yeah. It's a palate cleanser. I mean, because it implies something. A palate cleanser is always uh
Good.
pleasing.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
it's always a good
don't,
thing.
there's no nasty palate cleanser out there.
Yeah, I think this perfectly sums up. Men would have one term, women would have another term, and these reflect those two genders perfectly.
Well, great. I guess both stay.
We solved it.
Yeah, done and dusted. Great.
Sweet. Okay, moving on. Dear Chaz and DLS, I wanted to submit one of my personal bygone favorites from my typical sexist teenage boy years, Butterface. The almost homonym of the phrase "but her face" to describe a physically attractive female with a less flattering face. Please discuss. Despite my historical track record and love of butterfaces, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. P.S. For the sake of my public decency, let's keep this one anonymous.
Thank you so much. This is a classic right
This
here.
is a classic, and specifically, not as if you didn't describe it well enough, but everything is good about her, but her face.
Butterface. Yeah. I'm going to say it is offensive and should go away.
Wow.
Do you agree?
You gotta replace it.
Uh,
I agree with you. It is offensive, but my follow-up statement is it's pretty freaking funny and uh, concisely conveys
okay.
what you're trying to communicate.
Here we go. Here we go. It stays, but what we need to do is find the male equivalent because you can't say butt his face. So,
Okay.
so
I'm up for the challenge.
yeah, so we need to find like something that works like butter for his or him.
Dude with a good physique that attracts a lot of women, but his face is ugly.
Yeah, ugly, facially ugly. Happens more often or as often uh, in men. I would even say happens more often, probably. The dude who really gets after his health and fitness, right? Works out, has the muscles, but no hair and ratchet features.
I don't know if it happens more frequently, but it definitely is more forgiving on the part of the female counterpart.
Yeah.
Like the female will happily date a dude who doesn't have an attractive face if he has other positive qualities.
Yes, that's
Where
true.
I feel like dudes will less likely date a face unattractive woman, even if she has 99% other great qualities.
That's true. That's true. But we still need a term for
Yeah,
what is the male equivalent?
of a butterface.
Yeah. Okay, this is going to take time. This is going to
Yeah,
take more time than we have here. And this is going to take listener help, I feel.
listener, for sure. Listeners already have a term right now. They're
Yeah.
shouting it.
Yeah.
Okay, reach out,
Great.
listeners.
Yeah. Butterface stays. We just need to cement the male version.
You're sure Butterface stays? You comfortable saying that? How's your
Yeah,
wife
yeah.
going to feel?
That's okay.
Shouldn't
That's
this-
if there's a male equivalent, if it's not just a sexist, we judge women on their, beauty and we don't judge men on their, physical appearance kind of thing. I think that's where it wouldn't stay. If as long as we replace it, nope, we're judging men equally on their physical appearance. This has nothing to do with sex. This has everything to do with just physicality, just the skin depth.
Not that I'm taking it back, but I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the offensiveness of it. Could you imagine being a teenage girl?
Yeah.
Let's say you were the one who developed first in high school, and you found out that the boys were using that term to reference you.
It'd be awful. It would be so painful.
It would
Which,
be a lifelong
oh,
self-esteem trauma.
uh-oh, should we remove it again? Because you're exactly right. It would be something that would be lifelong. It would
It
be
feels a little traumatic to me just looking at it through that lens.
okay. I'm with you. I think we remove it again. I was not thinking about teenagers here.
I mean, yeah, because I'm thinking originally from an adult perspective, it is funny, and I feel like I don't even know if if an adult woman would necessarily be offended hearing it about herself at the age of 45, but she'd probably be proud of her physique at that point. But
Yeah,
as a teenager, this lands a bit different.
it lands ouchy. Okay, let's take it away. Erase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gone.
Sorry, teenage boys.
Yeah.
Do
Don't
better.
do be less sexist, teenage boys.
Focus less on physique and focus on personality. Get to know her
Internal
personality.
internal qualities. That's what's going to take you far at the end anyway.
100% agree. That's our
Yeah.
advice. But we
Great.
still want to know what a Butterface male equivalent is.
It's
So
true.
reach
It's
out
true.
about that. All right. It's the hard work. That's why
Yeah.
we get paid the medium bucks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go to Barrel or Not, and then we'll wrap up the show. Or I'm sorry, let's go to commercial break, and then we will wrap up with Barrel or Not.
Great.
All right, Chaz, welcome back to the show.
How much of the ISA World Surfing Games in El Salvador have you watched besides France and Chile pushed to the brink?
I watched that one clip, and that is all.
Man, it is funny, I suppose, that you and I, a lot of our listeners, are as diehard professional surf fans as you can probably get, right? I mean, I watch WSL. I don't know that I'm diehard, but I watch it. You cannot pay me. I mean, you could pay me enough for sure, but I have not been offered enough pay to watch any other form of professional surfing other than a Dahui shootout, your kind of random, whatever, padang padang sort of thing. But ISA, nope, will not, do not want to watch it. Like none of it. I don't like professional surfing.
It is unwatchable, and you immediately think, are there 168 surfers in the opening
Yeah.
round?
Yeah.
168 of them need to go get a day job.
Yeah.
There's not one that stands up on a wave that I go, wow, they're going to sell 1 million board shorts next year for whatever
Hidden
sponsor.
talent. The real damning part where Fernando, bless him, but Fernando and his ISA and his Olympics and all this, World Surf League surfers did not have to attend this ISA because it's not in the Olympic year. I think they'll have to go. I think you have to go the year before the Olympics or whatever. I can't remember what exactly it is, but you have to go one of those. Like, maybe you have even two. You can pick your one. In any case, this is not one of the ones they need to go to, and so not one surfer does. Like Frederico Moraes, I think, was the most notable name to travel down to El Salvador to surf this piece of garbage. So if you have a product that nobody wants to do, not, I mean, people from Angola may want to do it, surfers from Angola may want to do it, but that no actual surfer wants to do, then don't you look at the product and say, well, if we can't get the best to come down here, then maybe we need to toy with this thing a little bit, or do you just not even care?
And we can't get an audience to watch it,
Yeah.
then who are you doing it for?
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it. I literally don't get it. I can't imagine that more than a few thousand people tune in a day, right?
No, yeah, even that. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess you're right. If it's 168 people competing and they have 5 family members each, you're up to
Yeah.
close to 1,000.
So it's 5 times 168. Yeah. But that
And
draw that precipitously goes down to the last round when you have the final four surfers in the water. So it's 4 times 5, which I didn't even
it-
do the math there. It's 20 people watching the finals.
yeah, yeah, it's brutal. Um, Back to Butterface real quick. We talked about Howard Stern on Noble Rot this week.
Yes.
And what we didn't discuss in that conversation, and I can't even remember if we brought it up in a previous conversation, was that Instagram clip that we shared a few weeks ago where they were doing the Butterface contest.
Oh, no.
Did we ever talk about that?
No.
Did I sent it to you, right?
I don't think so. Or if you did, oh, you did. You did. And I watched it and thought, ooh,
So this was a Howard Stern show from 15 years ago, let's say. They had a Butterface contest where they had women in bikinis on stage competing with a bag over their face. And then they had a panel of judges who are comedians by day or night, I should say. And they would rate the bodies of the women with the bag on their head. Then the woman would take the bag off of her head and they would rate the face and then determine who had the biggest discrepancy, the best body with the worst face, and then they would deem a winner.
it was
And
brutal. It was
and
absolutely brutal.
because the judges are comedians, they're delivering jokes about every aspect of it. Jokes about the body, jokes about the face. It was incredibly poor taste and poorly aged. It's the bigger disparity than their body to face is how we felt as a culture then that was appropriate to how we feel now that's not appropriate.
Quick question for you about that, though. Do you think back in those days, we all had thicker skin, the women themselves, obviously agreed to do this. This was all, we all had thicker skin. We weren't so sensitive. Or do you think that inside those women were dying and this was just what they thought they kind of had to do? And it was the time back then, that amount of like bald faced, disgusting sexism was just that. And we matured and realized it was just that. Or if we were all thicker skinned.
Um, I think the women were dying inside a little bit, and
I mean, you had to have been.
you could see it on
Yeah.
some of their faces.
Yeah. Oh man, that was cruel. A cruel clip.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was like, is this just AI'd version to make it look like it was Howard Stern from back in the day? But
Yeah.
no, that was totally what they used to do.
Well,
And
and that's the
I remember being a young male. I didn't see that when it originally aired, but I remember seeing some Howard Stern stuff at the time, or Jerry Springer maybe, or something, where I was like, innately, this feels so wrong.
yeah.
But I think in adulthood, this becomes funny. I think like as I mature and evolve as a human being, this is acceptable and funny because look at all these adults modeling the behavior.
Yes. I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, Howard Stern, I remember being so uncomfortable as a kid. Anytime I would hear something, the friend at school who would come and say, oh, how, like, it was weird that, not weird at all. I suppose he was the king of all media back then. But I had like junior high friends who would listen to Howard Stern and come and report back. I don't know even how they were getting it. If they had like a ham radio or something like that. Uh, but would report back on what, the Howard Stern joke and just be dying laughing. And I would just be recoiling inside. Where Howard Stern, again, dear listener, prove me wrong. Not to quote a Charlie Kirk, but the he was always disgusting to me, and I never understood how it was not disgusting and aimed at people with real base taste that, and it wasn't that funny.
That the not funny is it kind of the bigger picture to me, or the bigger point is, yeah, disgusting. And then I never saw the joke in it.
Yeah,
I'm like, I
yeah,
don't even understand why people are laughing at this,
yeah.
you know?
Ugh. Fart Man. I was thinking about Fart Man the other day. Remember?
No, I totally forgot about that. You're right.
But
The stupidest thing
it was so
ever.
unfunny. Howard Stern would hang from the rafters, if I recall, in a pantless, I mean a
Assless.
assless costume, and his superhero was Fart Man. Like that's the level. Like even as at the time, I thought that is idiotic. As a junior high boy, I thought that's dumb. That's not
I,
funny.
I I agree with you. I totally did too. Even the name Fart Man is
Yeah.
this, like, you could, there's an angle here where farts are funny for sure.
And skewering superheroes is funny too, right? It's
Yeah,
doing something, but Fart Man.
you just made it not funny at all. And people ate it up and paid him millions of dollars.
I remember seeing like MTV Music Awards or something like that, like Fart Man dangling from the ceiling, and everybody just, whoa, this is hilarious.
We've come so far. We've evolved so much in certain ways, and in other ways have devolved.
Oh my goodness. I mean, look at that is so true. The double track evolution and de-evolution happening in lightning speed really does rattle the brains.
At that time, there were still people wearing suits on airplanes while Fart Man was playing through the radio, which is
Yeah.
remarkable.
Yeah, the more we talk about Howard Stern, and again, I haven't done any deep dives. I was not a fan, so uh, I still want a listener to like educate me of the cultural value of Howard Stern, aside from free speech. Like I'm all about the free speech part of anything, right?
Yeah.
Aside from that, aside from he stood up for free speech, no, I need to know how he did anything funny, culturally valuable, relevant, because he needs to get off the air as far as I'm concerned. When I see him now, I'm just annoyed. I'm like, get lost, old man. You were never funny. You're not funny. You're hanging on based upon nonsense. Just go away.
Send me one joke.
Yeah.
Just send me one joke that is a
Yep.
good joke.
Please.
Yeah.
I know we have fans out there who are just, or fans, listeners out there who are furious. Like you guys just don't know.
Because
Educate me.
they are Howard fans. Yeah.
Yeah. Educate me.
Okay. Final thought, because it's kind of related to the Butterface stuff. Did you watch that Netflix documentary about the high school catfish?
Not yet.
Okay, then we'll
Yeah.
save it.
Okay.
Save it. It's very good and incredibly disturbing when you find out the plot twist.
Okay. On to it tonight.
Okay, barrel or nah, letting your kid wear a red hat. I went
Mm.
to, I told you, Austin did my first trip to Bass Pro Shop last week, and Lauren was like, grabbed him a hat. It's a Bass Pro hat, but it's red. And in the
Yeah.
back of my mind, I was like, is our kid going to get attacked? Because
Yeah.
if somebody just walks up from behind and they see him, and then are they going to throw something? Like, what? Are they going to shout something? Like, where do we go from here? And
It's a
so
rough one.
she bought it, and I immediately stashed it and hid it in the house so she can't see it.
Yeah.
Even
I
if you're
mean,
pro, even if you're MAGA, even if you're pro Trump, putting your kid in the harm's way is really the central part of this question.
well, yeah. So this, exactly. I mean, I would say so. I saw a kid the other day, must have been probably 12, 13 maybe. Uh, backwards MAGA hat, surf kid, right? where very clearly, and I don't know, maybe his family or clearly his family leans that way and whatnot, but this kid was wearing his MAGA hat very obviously to be provocative, right? This was his punk statement. He was like punky surfer kid. I don't think he probably, if you asked him what MAGA was about, right? What are the real foundational principles underpinning, the MAGA movement? Don't think he would be able to say anything other than who knows, right? So I'm thinking, okay, you're doing this as a provocative statement. Where then I was thinking, like, back to what, like dead Kennedys and stuff, punk stuff of my youth. Um, it was always anti-authoritarian, where it's weird now that being punk is being authoritarian, essentially, or like backing the ruling party, right? Which just seems so off. But this is off, I guess, our original subject. I was thinking this kid making a point. Anybody who wears a red hat, uh, you're making some kind of point, whether you want to or not, even if it's a Bass Pro hat, where you're getting people to feel something, either, yeah, look at that smart little kid, or that little racist, until they go around and see the Bass Pro logo, and then they probably still think either, look at that little racist.
So that's my point is, and I even said to Lauren, I was like, I don't know that we can let him wear a red hat. And she's like, why? I'm like, because it's associated with a MAGA hat. She's like, stop. I'm like, not stop. Like, I'm not trying to impose this on him. It is what it is. Like,
Yeah,
anybody who walks in, other than a direct eye, like direct face to face with him, and also they have to have good eyesight to be able to read the logo. Anybody who walks in from the periphery is going to see a kid in a red hat and then wonder, are these parents either radicalizing him or are they whatever influencing it? And they're going to try to get to the front view to see what the logo says.
I
This is
think
already
there's
way too much for me.
exactly. I think there's no win in it, unless you're purposefully trying to make that statement. There is no win, and because there's also no win. Let's be quite frank. A red hat is not the most best hat color, unless you're a St. Louis Cardinals fan or a Angels fan. If you're a fan of a team with red, by all means. But otherwise, a red cap is not the best color for a cap.
He's a 3.5-year old and his favorite color is red. So that's why his mom picked it.
Okay, but I
But
mean,
like I
sometimes,
said, I disappeared that thing. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm making an executive decision here. I don't even want to generate any attention,
yes. I mean, that's
period.
the problem. That's the problem is people will assume and layer their assumptions onto a 3.5-year-old.
Yeah. Don't want any attention at all.
Yeah. Yep. No barrel. Red
No
hat,
barrel.
no barrel.
No
Unless you're
barrel.
red hat is no barrel unless you're purposefully wearing that red hat for either sports team or you are MAGA and you're out there proudly with your red hat on.
So that's Chaz's take. My take is specific to a 3.5-year-old. And I'm saying no barrel, even if you're MAGA,
Yeah,
still no barrel to put
don't
a
put that on
red
your
hat
kid.
on your kid because, again, it attracts attention.
So true.
And your kid didn't ask for that.
Yep.
Barrel or not, drinking milk as an adult.
Wow. This is no barrel. It is something that as an adult you age out of, I think. And I think if you don't, it says something. I mean, okay, so now let's slightly differentiate this. Milkshakes are okay. Milkshakes are not milk, correct?
A glass of milk.
Can it be a glass of chocolate milk?
No.
Just a glass of white milk?
Unadulterated cow's milk.
Yeah, I'm going to say no barrel. I'm going to say no barrel that it's kid stuff. It just is what it is, right? There is no, I think the milk industry pushed hard, milk, it does a body good, and all this kind of stuff for a long, obviously there was a whole ad council based on getting more people to drink more milk. I don't think that the adult human body needs milk. I don't think milk is
So
good for the adult human body.
I'm no dietitian, but no. So we had a friend visiting from the UK, and she said she was aghast. She was like, she saw an adult drinking milk at a
Yeah.
restaurant, and she was like, WTF? Is that person like got some sort of a diet, like an issue or something? And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, we don't drink milk in the UK like after a certain age. I was like, really? I didn't know that was like a strict, maybe not strictly American, but apparently it's not in the UK thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I stopped drinking milk 20 years ago for some reason, not lactose intolerance or whatever, just kind of like don't crave it anymore. And when you look at, we're the only species who drinks another mammal's milk, first of all, which is kind of worth noting. And then second of all, the only mammal who drinks milk after infancy, which is kind of weird.
What about cats drinking milk?
Do they drink milk after? Oh, they drink cow's milk. Is that what you're saying?
Sure do. Lap up cow's milk?
I know that's a trope, but do they actually? I've
I
never,
think so. I think a warm bowl of milk for a cat. Maybe it's just a trope. I don't
a
have a cat.
cat will eat anything.
Yeah, so will a dog. So let's
Yeah.
just but also to your point, I feel that the instinct to drink milk naturally turns itself off. Like I think I would have a glass of ice cold milk alongside dinner in the cafeteria at college, right? Like I think it was felt good, but it definitely doesn't. I haven't had a glass of milk in 20 odd years for sure at this point.
I don't
Uh,
even remember that gene turning off. I
but
just
it does. I feel
stopped
it
at
does,
some point.
and I feel if it turns on or if it stays on into adulthood, there's something weird going on there.
Could you even imagine drinking a full glass of milk right now? Like, let's say 12 ounces.
I think I would get so full and feel so bad. Yeah, I mean, I can picture that. I can picture drinking it and just choking it down and feeling awful for the rest of the day. Not because I'm lactose intolerant, not because of any other issue. Then I don't want that much milk in my guts sloshing around.
You've developed a lactose intolerance because you haven't had milk in 20 years, and I guarantee it would mess up your guts by drinking
Oh,
12 ounces now.
going so wrong. Wearing shoes in the house,
I
not
know.
serving after rains, giving up on milk.
Yep.
A bummer.
Yep.
That
Soft man.
soft man. It's funny. Like I used to, I think, abhor early milk replacement days, right? People who would pour soy milk on their cereal. I'd be like, what? And then almond milk. I was like, "Ugh." I can't picture, I don't eat a bunch of cereal anymore, but like I can't, oat milk, great. Almond milk, great. I can't picture pouring cow's milk on a bowl of cereal.
Me neither. It's weird. I
Yeah,
use I use almond milk. I never drink a glass of it, but like I make chia pudding,
sure.
couple teaspoons of chia seeds with oat milk. So I keep that on hand. But yeah,
Mm,
interesting. Okay, no barrel on adult
no
milk
barrel.
drinkers. Sorry, guys. But you do you. Let us know what the benefits of it are. How delicious is it? Let us know. Uh, Polo shirts. Have they fallen out of fashion? I see them advertised in my feed and they look fine on a fit model, but never look the same on me. And I've never seen a guy wearing one in public and thought, that's one cool dude. So barrel or not.
I'm going to say a polo shirt is one of that category of clothing that has been around long enough and has stood the test of time. And so we don't remove it, right? There is very specific times and places for a polo shirt, though, uh, if you want to do it well. Unless you're a polo shirt dude, there's those dudes who are polo shirt people, right? Who wear them all the time. The problem with polo shirt, though, I think it got co-opted by business casual sales dude, right? And so business casual sales dude is inevitably in a polo.
So
So
they're even like Salesforce employees embroidered on.
branded
Yeah,
polo.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the polo got co-opted mostly for that. And so to fight that tide, you gotta be like have a good looking polo. I could kind of picture like, 80s somebody trying to do an 80s style popped collar polo. But you got to have the whole right thing going on. Polo is real hard to thread that needle. But if you can do it, I'm not gonna cancel. I'm gonna say barrel. If you can figure it out, it's just a real narrow landing spot.
I'm going no barrel. I think this question right out of the gates, have they fallen out of fashion? The answer is yes, they have fallen out of fashion. And I think they're not an offensive, like it's not a huge misstep if you wear them. You don't look at that guy and be like, horrible style, but it is a straight down the middle play. It's like, it doesn't look as good as if you actually had some sort of a fashion sense and were making a choice. It doesn't look as bad as if you had a major swing and a miss with the fashion choice. It's just straight down the middle, and you look like you got off the golf course or you're a random dad whose wife bought your clothes at Costco.
I'll tell you where they do look good though, is on polo players. Like when you see Prince Harry or William in their polo shirts out on the horse whacking the ball with the stick, they look good.
That's
Like
it. That's the only place.
the point of polo. Yeah, okay, there we go. So unless you play polo, don't wear a polo shirt. I guess this is probably a great rule here. If you're a polo player, by all means. And if you like polo shirts, then go learn how to play polo.
The exception proves the rule here.
Yep. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go, look, I don't play golf, but even if you're playing golf, can you, because it's ubiquitous on the golf course, can you find something else? Can you wear a different type of collared shirt?
I'm no golf player either, but I look at golf fashion and think of all people, you guys should have the best fashion. You are honestly walking in a park. It is a genteel rich man sport to begin with, all of it. Why are you little nerds wearing the most tech fabric you can in like chinos and polos? You are like tech fabricing out chinos and polos, and you look like, again, the Salesforce dude.
Bring back the days of bagger Vans. I want to see
Exactly.
a button down and a sweater vest.
I mean, how much constriction is regular old cotton or wool like giving you where you can't swing your club? You need that crazy triple, quadruple, gazillion way stretch, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff looks so crappy.
Even the most provocative John Daly or whatever, like players are still wearing that same outfit.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you just showed up and you were wearing like a button down linen resort wear, missing the few first buttons, and just styling out, just looking cool. And then you go out there and do your thing. You'd be the talk of the town.
A star, and a good old pair of baggy wool pants. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you got no just figure it out, golf nerds. Like, your tech thing is hideous. And man, when you see the golf tech nerd dude like walk into the store with his like tech shorts, tech fabric shorts, tech fabric polo tucked in, trim little belt, like I always think that you stinking golfer. You should have the best style. You absolutely have the worst style.
Totally agree. And
Yeah.
bragging.
Yeah.
They're like,
Proud.
this keeps me warm. If the temperature goes down to 68, I'm still warm. If it goes up to 74, think breathes, baby. I never
I
sweat.
can move. I can move. Look at me move.
Turn left, turn right.
Yep. That guy doesn't need to move.
Doesn't need to. Okay, well, I think we solved a lot of problems here today. Good work.
Sure did. Yeah. Patreon.
Go see us on Patreon. This usually goes up on Monday. It's going to go up on the weekend this time. So you're going to get early access on Patreon, Extra Fine Grit, Manana, and also Noble Rot coming your way. Go get that.
Exciting days tomorrow.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Until mañana.
Keep working.